I am called Roboto. I am an explorer from the planet of Robotica.
Hi there, back with another Origins review. Taking a look at Roboto today, and this is another Origins figure that I was really looking forward to getting. Not because I needed a Roboto. Roboto is definitely one of the vintage figures that I picked up years ago when I was putting back together my vintage He-Man collection. But Roboto is one of the figures that never got reissued in the commemorative series. And then when Super 7 was doing the Filmation style releases a couple years ago, they didn't do Roboto either. So I was really hoping to get a reissue or original style Roboto mint on card in order to have him displayed alongside the reissues and some of the other Super 7 Filmation figures. Here's a look at the artwork on the back. Roboto is blasting Triclops there, and yay, he's actually got the gears inside that hopefully move just like the original figure did back in the day. The Classics one did not have that stuff, I don't believe. I'll pull that one out in a bit for a comparison as well. And another big bonus of these Origins figures is, like I mentioned in the Clamp Champ review, if you're missing some pieces of your vintage one, I don't have all three of the vintage Roboto's arm attachments, just two of them. So the Origins Roboto, I would assume, is compatible with the vintage one. So if you're missing a piece, you can just grab it off of the Origins one and use it with the vintage one. So even though I've opened this one up, I do have another one that I'm going to keep mint on card on the mint on card wall. Comes with a mini comic, as most of them do. There's Roboto right there. And He-Man's fighting some sort of sea creature. Zodak makes an appearance here. First impression is awesome, like most of the Origins figures. He popped apart at the waist quite easily, like most of these do. This looks like a Centurion's connection point to me. Anyway, just in putting this back on, I got the mouth to do a little bit of chomping, and as you move the waist back and forth, the Origins figures get so many little touches that the original figures had right, but one of the things they don't have is the waist twist punch that the original figures had. So in Roboto's case, this is pretty cool that the original Roboto did not have the waist twist. He had the same type of gimmick. You do a full 360 with Roboto, and when you turn, his mouth would open and close and his gears would move like so. And they've got it pretty much spot on. Some of the Robotos over the years, the clear plastic is kind of yellowed a little bit or gotten cloudy, so that's another huge advantage of getting yourself an Origins Roboto. Nice brand new, fresh, minty looking. That works great. Probably not going to use it a lot if you're an adult collector, but it's cool knowing it's in there. And who knew? He sounds like the robot on Buck Rogers. Coloration would be the exact same if this was the silver version of Roboto. Instead, this is the kind of pinkish version I've got here. There's a different one with silver on the thighs and the boots as well. So many of the other details have been, just like most Origins figures, carried through so well. Look at some of the arm detail. It's a bit different, but still so close. Pretty much bang on. Elbow guards. The waist actually looks quite a bit smaller on Origins Roboto. His undies are about 2 sizes smaller on Origins Roboto. That's interesting. And a look at the head sculpts. Very close again. And a major improvement is this guy can actually stand thanks to the lack of those rubber bands in the legs that make it impossible for this particular version of Roboto to stand. So here's a a little difference right here. The vintage Roboto has kind of a mushroom peg on the edge there. The Origins Roboto, it's more just plug straight in, pull straight out. That's nice, but I can see in time that wearing out, that plug-in point right there. I always love the gun on Roboto, and that's one of the pieces that I'm missing from my vintage Roboto. I was wondering if the see how tight that is in there? It's takes a little bit of force to get the pieces in there and out of there. I wonder if it's still compatible. No, not even close. That hole is much wider, and the lack of the mushroom peg. So that's a revelation for anyone wanting to use pieces. Oh, look at that! I actually got them to stand. Use pieces from the Origins Roboto to complete their vintage one. They're not compatible. You'll have to use some sticky tack or something. That's too bad. Maybe we can get a third-party adapter. That might be kind of cool. I don't know how many people would actually, need that, but that's a shame, because the Origins figures blend in with the vintage ones so well. This is one of the first examples I've found of them not really being able to work together very well. And if you'll indulge me just one moment to visit Nitpick City. I really do like this guy, most of him, but this waist connector does suck. Part of the thing about the character is he's a robot. He's robotic. He's supposed to be extra tough. He can take a blast, a magical blast or a laser blast. Having this so wiggly just kind of makes the figure seem a little bit flimsy and fragile. I like a more like sturdy stature for a character, like Ram Man. That Origins Ram Man was absolutely perfect. But that's too bad. I guess if it was a choice between having him sturdy and no gimmick, or having him wobbly and wiggly and gimmick, give me the gimmick. But I just wonder if there's some kind of way to make that a little bit sturdy. Anyway, let's take a look at Roboto through the years. Here's Origins Roboto alongside the Classics Roboto, who has... Oh, he does! I stand corrected. Look at that. The line that was not supposed to have any gimmicks actually does have a few. The gears do move. The mouth doesn't open and close, but they were able to incorporate moving gears when you twist this. See, this is what I mean. That feels nice and sturdy. Big, powerful, robotic character, not shaky and wobbly. Okay, I'm done visiting Nitpick City. I won't bring up the wobbliness again. And 2000X by the Fahasman, as the legendary Macandrium used to say. And I love the 2000X line. Such a masterpiece of figures. He's going to look a little bit more like the classic Roboto if I can somehow get this shield off. And there's the classic gears that move, and his mouth moves too. I've forgotten some of these gimmicks. It's literally been years since I've futzed around with this Roboto. Much more stylized, cool looking anime version of Roboto. Much more vintage. Hit you right in the feels if you grew up with Masters of the Universe Roboto. They're all awesome, and this Roboto is just such an awesome addition to my Roboto collection. Didn't get to do all that much in the original Filmation show. He made a few appearances here and there, but didn't get much. Fared better in the 2000X cartoon. So if you're a big fan of Roboto, I'd highly recommend watching the 2000X episodes with Roboto in them. And if I may bring up Revelation, had an awesome part in Revelation as well. He reforged the sword. Finally. I mean, that's why I can't just write off Revelation completely and say, garbage and I never want to think about it. I always felt like this character had the potential to do something huge. And I really like that idea that Roboto was the one that reforged the power sword. Because in some of the other continuities, I guess Man-at-Arms makes a new power sword. Or that was the concept in the 2000X line. But I like the idea that no living human or beast on Eternia could reforge the power sword. It took Roboto to do it. And here he is alongside a couple of his robotic buddies. There's Psykill, who shares the same color scheme. That one's for you, Bill. A Robert Burble, Grendizer in the back, Optimus Prime, and Thunderstick from Bravestar, Metalhead. Sorry, I don't have the heart to open them up, but you can have yourself a 80s robot dance party. Get all your robots together and boogie down. And on that note, let me know what your favorite robot is in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.
Namaste.